another fight. 50 wins between them, 34 finishes, two of the best strikers in the sport, two of the most durable fighters in the sport, two of the most aggressive guys in the sport. Justin Gaethje versus Max Holloway, Dustin Poirier versus Benoit Saint Denis. Charles Oliveira is taking on Arman Tsarukyan in a #1 contender fight.
Who actually is going to earn a title shot off this? My money is going to be after Arman Tsarukyan and Oliveira.
Oh, sorry.
Well, exactly, because that's the thing. You know, we don't know if it's booked. Dana White's not confirmed it, but Chandler and Conor have hugely plugged for it. They're both saying they're ready for it. So if that fight gets booked, that's happening on the same card as two other major ones. So we got Justin Gaethje fighting Max Holloway. Justin Gaethje won the BMF title. He's already proven to be a star over and over again, headlining his own card, winning that title, defending it in the co-main event. No matter who it is, he's right underneath that. So that's marquee status. And yeah, we got Benoit Saint Denis. So maybe an answer to your original question of who that next star might be. That might be him in the 155-pound division, but he's up against an insane test. It's almost like we have a lightweight sweepstakes going on right now. 4 potential matchups. Obviously, Conor is like the least deserving one of all of that with Chandler, but we know Dana White's been trying to insert Conor into the title discussion since Khabib was champion, trying to set up that rematch, and here we are again, trying to do whatever he can.
That he's been trying to put Conor McGregor in the title picture since he beat Brandao.
You could argue that he deserves it as well. I mean, like, he makes a lot of money, and ultimately, this is the ultimate money championship.
Well, deserves and making money are two separate things, right?
According to hardcore fans.
He could make money with a wet blanket. That's not a problem. It's does he deserve a title shot is kind of a different thing.
I think the person who sells the most pay-per-views probably deserves to sell the most pay-per-views.
Well, that is what the fucking BMF title is. Though.
Well, I was going to say
that already exists.
You know, we've got a lot of ways to approach this from, but I'm just going to come out the block and say Justin Gaethje. We thought he was going to fight for the belt. We thought he was the guy that was going to, but they didn't book that fight. I would be happy to never see him fight for the title again and just.
We thought they were going to book that fight. We thought it was going to be Oliveira.
It
was supposed to be.
He was already booked.
But I mean, like, but then Gaethje came along and he won the BMF title, so it kind of felt like, okay, Gaethje's probably going to get that shot now. Obviously, it could still have been Oliveira.
Oliveira was after that. Oliveira was October, and he canceled out after that. So you already thought it was going to be Oliveira.
The point is, well, the point I was trying to make is that I personally, on a personal level here, before anyone jumps on this, I would be happy to see Gaethje possibly never fight for that title. He's already fought for it. He's lost. We can see it again. Chances are the same thing's going to happen. Or Gaethje can have his own belt and just keep taking on BMF contenders and just keep defending that. I would actually prefer to see that than to see him maybe fight and lose for the belt again.
Gaethje said?
No, I don't listen to what he says. I'm giving you my opinion.
What has he said? He is saying in every fight he's bored. He doesn't like fighting as much anymore. He's bored of these technical scraps. He wants one more go at the belt and then he's done.
Or defend the BMF belt. Never have to do that again and then never be done. Just fight BMFers.
We all know it's kind of like, we all know he's a BMF anyway.
Gaethje's the BMF, bro, out of everyone on the roster.
Yeah, but it was the bullshit belt because we needed to make the pay-per-view sellable.
But I'm happy to see him defend the bullshit belt in badass fights. If every fight's a banger,
you're just saying you want to see Gaethje fight, so why not have him fight the best?
Well, because he's probably gonna lose, isn't there?
But he could be a double title holder with
if
the
you're
real belt and
you're
basically
saying you don't want to see Gaethje versus Islam because he's probably going to lose.
Probably, maybe. But I also think it's more entertaining. I think it's more entertaining. It's more entertaining for me to see Gaethje defend a fake belt and have amazing fights. He doesn't need a UFC title.
Well, let's make the case for Gaethje, though. He's lost to Oliveira. He has not lost to Islam.
Lost to Khabib.
Habib was, 2020?
Doesn't seem to go well when he fights
So
for the
he's
belt,
once once in 4 years.
Yeah. Islam has also said that he wants that. He likes fighting new people. He doesn't want to fight people he's already beaten. He's called for Justin Gaethje. He's been on interviews and he says, I want to fight Justin Gaethje next. I think that'd be a much more exciting fight.
We know for certain that Islam has got no sway in what happens. Ultimately, the person who's going to get the shot is going to be the person that delivers the best performance.
To me, there's an easy answer. It's going to be Oliveira Tsarukyan, but we've seen what happened with guys like Merab. Yeah, it was supposed to be a #1 contender fight, but obviously Merab didn't put on a highlight reel level performance that Dana White cared about. and he boxed him out. And obviously, Aljo was part of that, so it's, still a bit sticky. But Merab should be the one instead of Cheeto, And what's being chosen there, and that's what makes this whole discussion interesting, is it's the star power, the rivalry fight that's being made instead. So obviously, that's where Conor, I don't agree with that decision. But I am definitely foreseeing a future where Dana White says, you got to put Conor in there. He just had an incredible knockout over Chandler. I don't think the same treatment goes to Chandler, unfortunately.
I also think you've got the really shameless storyline there as well, with the whole Islam-Khabib friendship, and the fact that that's Conor's loss that he's always wanted to get back, and the fact that he has so much history with Khabib and his manager. You could see that just selling easy.
Slightly changing up. Is there a possibility that Poirier and Benoit have an absolutely banger and whoever comes out of that gets a shot? Or will the results of 300 just shadow it immediately because it's new?
If you can finish Dustin Poirier in some crazy Matt Frivola head kick way, then you're getting noticed.
Well, I think that's the other side of this tournament that we're talking about, because I feel like if Benoit Saint Denis wins, I mean, he may get a title shot. Who knows? Who knows what kind of situation might occur?
He's the champ at the end of the
year.
But
also, if Benoit Saint Denis wins and Gaethje wins, you could do another BMF title fight with Gaethje and Benoit Saint Denis. I feel like that's a pretty...
You fucking love those BMFs, don't you?
I didn't like it at first, but you know what? When Gaethje's got it, and now it's Gaethje couldn't win the belt, let's give him his own belt. Now he's got it. I'd love to see him defend it 4 times.
What, so you'd like to see an interim champion not fight?
No, it's not interim. He is the BMF champion.
That is what that is.
Well, no, because it's
an interim title.
No, because it transcends weight classes, Tom.
I mean, it does not right now.
Well, it hasn't with him, but it did before, all right? Yeah. And it can do again.
But technically speaking...
It's a 155 thing right now.
It's a 155.
Well, Max Holloway's got 155, is he?
He's going up to 155.
Yeah, for this fight.
They're not fighting at 145.
Yeah, but the point is, it's not an interim. That's not for the interim title. Yeah. That's for the BMF title, all right?
It's not an interim.
It's kind of like saying, I'd never want to see Tom Aspinall fight John or Stipe. I just want to see him defend the interim belt.
Well, I don't know,
dude. No, that's different.
That's very different.
It is different, to be fair, but...
It's different because I think your claim of saying it's just interim is completely wrong.
If Tom Aspinall...
Why? Because it's not an interim. Because Gaethje is not next.
Yeah, he's not an
I
interim.
think he's not
Gaethje is next.
He's not even being considered.
He head kicked Poirier.
We don't know
and he's at the top of the division, and he's number 1.
We don't know that.
He might be next, but we don't know.
He shouldn't be next. He should be behind the winner of Oliveira Tsarukyan, if we're going on a meritocratic, type kind of thing. He should be that. But yeah, it also is a carrot kind of thing where they're okay, Justin Gaethje's getting a bit bored. Let's give him a title. And then what we get to do is what we did at 170, where we get to unify the titles.
At the end of the day as well, it's just we've spoken about this before, but the BMF title is a belt that they just give to the guy they want to be the champ.
Exactly. Yeah. It's perfect for Justin Gaethje right now. Does he get 50 grand from Venom as well?
He does get pay-per-view points, yeah.
This is right. This belt, just like interim belts on paper, are a championship. So
that's what I'm saying. It's an interim
What
title.
I'm saying is, don't let go of that belt. Just defend it, dude. Honestly, if Gaethje fights another title, brilliant. If he wins or loses, brilliant. It doesn't really matter. But where he is right now, I would happily watch him.
It's the super fight title.
It's the super fight title, exactly. And I'm happy for him to have it. And he's a great fighter every fight he's in. So it's
Do you think they had to put it in the lightweight division, give it to either Gaethje or Poirier because they knew that Gaethje and Poirier couldn't beat Islam?
Well, it's probably because
they were fuck it.
Number one reason is probably because they had a missing headlining spot.
I do think that is a cheap reason for it. Yeah,
maybe. But
we should also put the WBC and the WBO belts into UFC as well.
I thought you were going to say WNBA.
The WNBA, the WWE titles.
NFL, PGA.
Yeah, PGA in there.
The Ashes, get that in.
If Max Holloway then demolishes Gaethje, does that mean Max Holloway gets a shot against Islam?
Yeah.
He was supposed to fight Khabib.
Who doesn't want to see Max Holloway in a title fight?
When does anyone...
He beats everyone.
But that's what I'm saying about the interim it sort of being an interim title belt. If Max Holloway wins the BMF and he's moved up weight and he does it in a spectacular way, do you not have a solid, legitimate case to be fuck it, Max Holloway is a fan favorite. People love Max Holloway. He's a huge star. He just couldn't beat Volkanovski for a while. Let's shove him in there, see how he gets on.
I don't fully agree with the interim thing, but what I do agree with is it gives you momentum.
Yeah.
Max Holloway is very active, and if he does beat the number 2 guy, BMF regardless, he is now a top contender, and he doesn't have to do anything for a shot at the belt.
Let's reel this back a bit. So, what do belts even actually mean in 2024? So when you think of what the belts mean for each division, a lot of people argue whether they matter. Well, I think they matter, and here's the number one reason. In every division that exists, except for maybe heavyweight right now, who is it that holds a title that you don't actively think is the best of the division? We think that they're the best. It confers something. It means something. But when you say BMF, it's just this entirely arbitrary thing of, for whatever reason, Dana woke up that day and said, I don't have a main event in July for the second card that we put on. We got to figure something out. Let's just throw a belt on there. And so that's also my reasoning, which goes into number one, should be Arman Tsarukyan and Oliveira, the winner of that. Number two, maybe you put Justin Gaethje there because meritocratically, I think he has done enough to win an opportunity there if he beats Holloway. But again, I think it comes back down to, do belts actually matter to you? And I think that's your major question.
The point of a belt as well, it's just a physical manifestation of the title you earn as champion as well. That's all that is. So the BMF is problematic immediately because what is it actually signifying? It's not a title, or a title of what? Being a good fighter, being a fan favorite. It's not. You're not holding
being a BMF, bro.
It's being a good stand-up fighter.
Well,
basically.
Again, the first BMF was something that the fans kind of bestowed that. As much as it was Nate Diaz saying it, the fans really bestowed that on them because everybody immediately jumped on it. You didn't have that with Dustin Poirier and Justin Gaethje. You just didn't.
Obviously, this conversation is about how many potential contenders there are for the belt, and you have that problem in some other divisions where you've got a line and they stack up and one by one they go to the champion. But when you've got another belt, even if it's for a bit of fun, you can play a lot more with your pieces. Like if Holloway wins, the thought of him getting a title shot, pretty insane. But he can just sit on the BMF title and then have some more super fights. Because for guys who are in the right place in their career, Gaethje had 2 title fights, lost. Holloway tried to beat the same guy twice, lost. It's perfect. You don't have to challenge for the belt. You've got your own belt. You can have super fights. You can get pay-per-view points, and it's perfect. As much as it is a manifestation of the corporate side of the business, it helps that fighter a lot because they don't have the chance or even the ability to win a title.
Is it good for Islam to have a BMF champion in your division where that guy, that title holder, is beating the contenders that you should be fighting to build your legacy? So is the BMF title good for Islam?
Well, first of all, Gaethje is a potential contender, but he's not fighting a contender that Islam would fight. He's fighting Holloway, right? And I'd probably say if Chandler beats Conor, Chandler's probably going right next for that BMF title, whoever is holding it, right? So what you've done there is you've got your stars in a very star-packed division, and you've only got one title, but these guys who are stars, well, we can't get them in a title fight, but we can put them in our fake title.
What you're actually doing is you're advocating for the fact that regardless of what happens here, the fan favorite might not go to the title because they might go to the BMF. So is this a smart and clever way of going, no, it's going to be Tsarukyan, it's going to be Oliveira, but don't worry, guys. The winner of Chandler, the winner of McGregor is still going to go to a title fight. It's just going to be for the BMF.
You've said why the 55 division. I mean, that's the perfect division to put it in because that's where you've got almost too many stars. And we talked about the stars keep having to fight each other. At least now you can put a bit of history and legacy and a record
okay, so if the
it.
BMF title did not exist in the lightweight division, who is going in there? Who is fighting Islam?
I think it's going to be between Arman and Oliveira. I think that is
unless something royally fucks up in that,
Yeah, I mean, Oliveira was scheduled to fight him and had to pull out due to a cut. And then Arman Tsarukyan has a history of literally fighting Islam already to a close contest in probably one of his closer fights that he's had in the UFC. So it's really exciting, the fact that Oliveira can lose quite convincingly, but come back and destroy Beneil. And then Arman is kind of this guy who's been just chiseling away at the bottom ranks of the lightweight division, finally getting his shot at the top. And he's like someone who looks really promising and who's really developed. And I think that's what we're kind of missing at the top there, because we've been plagued by strikers for so long where your Khabib, your Oliveira can come along and just kind of eventually sub them or take them down. It's kind of like you love these guys, but it doesn't always seem like it's going to be the fairest contest or it's going to be the most competitive contest.
Is that not exactly why Bilal's not in there yet? Because they're scared of putting Bilal in there because
the less popular version.
Yeah. So is there an outcome where, regardless of what happens with Oliveira and Tsarukyan...
But that's the thing, that's also an opinion compete because it depends how much they value.
So do you feel like Bilal hasn't earned?
I don't. No, I don't. I don't think he's not earned it. I just don't think he's that good to defeat Leon.
If Kamaru Usman beat Chimaev, would he fought for the middleweight belt? If he had a spectacular performance?
No.
I mean,
he's a huge star.
Maybe just behind the next guy.
I'll be totally honest with you. I think if there is a better performance on the night with Tsarukyan and Oliveira, I don't think either of those guys are going to get it.
No, I think it comes.
I don't think they will.
Performance.
I think like Gaethje has had a fucking absolute banger and just destroyed Holloway, or they've had an incredible fight. You're not going to put that guy in the title fight because everyone's going like, that was the only thing I remember from 300.
I do think fans would be more excited for the guy that they think has a shot. And that's not always true. In Bilal's case, for instance, unfortunately, it's not true, and I don't think that's fair. But I do think people are mad pumped. I mean, Oliveira is one of the most popular guys at 155. And then you've also got Arman Tsarukyan, where people are just waiting to see that guy. And if he wins on a marquee stage like this, over Oliveira, and then people are like, that's the best fight Islam's ever had.
I do think they need to have a great performance, though.
Yeah.
I think either man has to go out there and really make a statement and see their name into that event. When you think about UFC 300, you think of that fucking fight, and you think of like, holy shit, this is not going to be the same fight that Oliveira Islam won. Tsarukyan has emerged as the only guy there that could legitimately beat Islam, a man who's just head kicked Volk to dust. Like, you need someone to go in there and really make it, like you were saying. But if Gaethje goes in there and just completely, and we don't fucking remember it, we don't remember that fight because it's a 5-round sort of like on the outside, or it's a grappling match.
If it goes that way, then yeah.
The thing is, when was the last boring fight you saw Oliveira in?
Exactly, yeah.
Like, he gets finished or finishes.
Both guys are
it
coming
shouldn't
off.
be boring, yeah.
And also, Arman just ran through Beneil.
Like, both guys are coming off really good performances over the same guy.
Yeah.
Ironically, both over Beneil.
The thing is, I think the point of this whole conversation is lightweight finally has not been more exciting than this in a long time. No matter who wins or loses, there are so many cool new matchups to make. Where it was like everyone was standing around shuffling, being like, Islam, excuse me, can I have the next title shot? And Islam's like, yeah, I'll take my fucking time.
I'm going to fight Volk a couple of times.
Yeah, I'm going to fight Volk. Now, like, even if you don't get to fight Islam, you could fight Chandler again, or you could fight Conor, or you could fight Tsarukyan or Oliveira. It's like, there's so many big spotlights for all these people. And then you've got someone like Benny St. Denis coming in. If he does it, then it's a completely new guy for everyone to fight. So it's like it finally feels that trio of violence that can't win a belt is kind of expanding, and there's more people in and now for everyone to fight and to stop avoiding each other.
This does show that 155 is still an incredibly stacked division. The fact that we essentially have a sweepstakes of 4 different fights going on right now where any one of them could realistically get a shot, some of them less deserving than others, shows that the division is in a pretty awesome spot right now.
53 minutes long, this uncut podcast. And guess what, boys?
What?
You can watch it all if you join us on the membership program, and you can join for as little as $2.99.
Less than my coffee in the morning.
Yeah, Starbucks is like £5.
Yeah, it's mental, actually.
What
did
you
you have? The
get?
biscotti fucking almond milk thing for like £6.50?
It's getting more expensive by the minute.